This looks incredible, but this actually feels like a game. If there's one thing that's improved in games, it's the graphics, and that might be the problem. The year is 2021 and I just bought Cyberpunk. I boot up the game and it looks beautiful, but my graphics card is having a seizure and everything is broken. 2 years later, I returned to one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. And that's when it hit me. Graphics matter more than actually playing the game. In Red Dead Redemption 2 is the perfect outlier. It looks incredible while still being polished and fun to play. You even have the most realistic depiction of horses in video games. What more could you want? But not every game is Red Dead 2, and sometimes that beautiful world the developers spend years crafting ends up being empty. Which brings me to Stalker 2, a game that I wanted to love but only ended up liking. The idea was simple, a world as alive as Red Dead 2 with the gameplay depth of Cyberpunk. Instead, we got a beautiful but empty map and a launch almost as broken as Cyberpunk's. The main feature? Missing. Life, the system that was supposed to make the world constantly evolve and change even without the player's actions, just isn't there. So when a studio prioritizes a gigantic, beautiful map instead of the one feature that made the franchise special, something's clearly wrong. If I had to describe Stalker 2 with one sentence, I'd say it's like having a beautiful girlfriend, but each time she opens her mouth, she crashes and starts clipping through the floor. If instead of this beautiful map and Unreal Engine 5, they scaled back and focused on gameplay instead, could this game have been one of the greats? But enough of the pondering, because it's time we take a look at a proper shitty game that's got a beautiful fresh coat of paint on it. Starfield. Todd's newest creation that's praised for its low-stakes plot and mediocrity. He has done it again. It just works. Until it doesn't. Bethesda spent years upgrading their engine instead of actually making the game fun. Don't worry though, it's not just boring, it's also broken. Or it was broken. This April, a big update came out and the game is finally playable. It only took 2.5 years. Now, it would be easy to just repeat that modern graphics are ruining games, but that's not the real problem. Because when it's done right, graphics can make a good game legendary. The problem is in the industry itself. All the games I've shown you had one very important thing in common: multi-million-dollar budgets. The thing is, AAA titles are being consistently outperformed by indie games with almost no resources. Concord, feels cursed to even say that out loud, had a 200-person team working on it for 8 years. Balatro? One person and a fucking dream. But I'm not stopping here, let's rapid fire some more. Highguard, 200 million. Assassin's Creed Shadows, 150 million. Mind's Eye, 300 million. Redfall, 150. Millions and millions just to create the prettiest piece of crap. And in the end, a game that looks like this is still 100 times better. So where am I going with this? Diminishing returns. At some point, the amount of money a studio would spend on graphics stopped matching the actual quality of the graphics. Super detailed shadows, perfect reflections, image sharpening, the investments are huge and the returns are minimal. Small details you barely notice during gameplay. And this might sound like I'm blaming graphics, but I'm not. I have proof that you can put graphics in the forefront and still make an amazing game. And the irony is that it was done by an indie studio. I'm talking about Mouse PI for Hire. Everything is hand-drawn, every single detail, and the game still manages to be good. It all winds back to this very important thing called style. Mouse PI could have been made in Unreal Engine and have hyper-realistic graphics, but that would be incredibly boring. However, draw everything in the style of 1930s cartoons and you've got a killer game. And the greatest piece of evidence supporting this entire video is the IGN review. They gave the game a 6 for having personality, for having style, for not being corporate slop. But the fun thing about video games is that the majority decides, not some idiot in an office. And thankfully, Mouse PI is getting all the love it deserves. Still, it's gonna take years before those executives in that billion-dollar studio boardroom realize that we don't care about having hyper-realistic graphics. We want to play, not admire the visuals. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.